Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hips in Your Books. My name is Marian Bailey, and today I am here with Mitchell Clionsky. He is the author of the book Dementia Prevention, Using Your Head to Save Your Brain. Mitch, welcome to the Hips in Your Books.
Thank you so much. Pleasure being here.
We are so happy to have you. You wrote this book with Emily, your wife, correct?
Yes, wife and physician.
Okay. And which is a great, because you're a PhD and your background is what? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I have a PhD in clinical psychology and then postgraduate training in neuropsychology, which is basically how our brains function. So we are looking at what happens, how we think. We're looking at how well we pay attention, what we're able to learn and then remember, how we're able to solve problems. So all the functional aspects of brain ability.
Okay. And then how did Emily contribute to this book as well? What did her background bring to this book also?
This is basically a medically oriented book. So we begin by surveying all of the medical as well as psychological literature dealing with dementia, various types of dementia, not just Alzheimer's disease, but vascular dementias, the dementias that are part of Parkinson's disease, dementias that are due to head injury. And we're drawing on cardiology and endocrinology and sleep medicine and neurology and psychiatry. So we're very science-based as a starting point, and then translating that medical science into terms that everyday people will understand, anecdotes that will make for interesting reading and put life into the facts, and then giving them a questionnaire, dementia prevention checklist, so that everyone who reads the book or actually goes up to our website can find out where their strengths and weaknesses are, where they're on target, where they're off target, where they need to make some changes. The last part of the book goes into how to make change, which is, as we all know, really difficult, and for most of us gets tougher as we get older.
It absolutely does. I've noticed that along the way as well. Okay. So who are really good candidates to be reading your book? I think obviously everybody should be reading dementia books and be up to knowledge because it's such a broad area. But if you had to target like a group of people that were really good candidates to be reading your books, who would you prefer be reading your book? What
Probably
is this book
people
for?
midlife and a bit older. People who are really interested initially are people who have a family member, parent, who's had dementia, because they don't want to walk down that same pathway. So
Right.
they're very concerned. Ideally, we would get people in their 20s and 30s reading this book, because the earlier you start, the more positive results you're going to get. But who really pick this up are the people in midlife, because 80% of people in midlife are either very concerned or somewhat concerned about developing dementia as they age. When you have that level of interest, because they don't want to become like that when they get older, it makes for a very compelling audience.
Is there a brief answer to this question? Is dementia genetic or is it environmental or is it both?
It's more than even those two. So everyone has some relatively greater or lesser genetic component, just a matter of being alive. Some of it is direct. We can have one of the genes that we know is more associated with risk of dementia, like the APOE allele. If you have so many copies of APOE4, you're more likely. But we also know that head injuries in younger ages or in older ages predispose us. What we do in terms of our activity level, how we maintain a normal body weight, whether or not we're smoking or non-smoking cigarettes, the amount we drink alcohol, hearing loss, interpersonal involvement, whether or not we breathe well while we're sleeping.
Hmm.
Are we taking medications, even over-the-counter medications, to go to sleep? So there's those and more. There's actually about 20 different factors.
I've seen
Talk,
a lot of people that have surgeries, like a lot of surgeries that end up having dementia. And I was told that the anesthesia can contribute to it.
it can be partly due to anesthesia, but also many of these people have a tough time coming out of anesthesia have underlying sleep apnea. They're not breathing well. So after the surgery, the tube comes out, they get extubated, and their breathing isn't normal. And at that point, they don't get enough oxygen to their brain. And that's actually what's causing the problem. It makes it difficult for them to get out of the hospital in a normal period of time, lands them in the ICU thinking there's spiders coming out of the walls. So those are the kinds of things that could lead to delirium. And we're very careful when we have somebody who's about to go to surgery that we take a look at how well they're breathing before they even go into the surgery.
Wow. So many factors. Okay. All right. So somebody read your book and they set it down. They've read it from beginning to end and they set it down and they can only have one thought. What are you hoping that they take away from this book?
Action. I'm going to do something. We know that 1 out of 2 cases of dementia are preventable, but that won't happen because of luck. It's going to happen because of people understanding what their risk factors are and modifying the risk factors. For a lot of people, I say, what can I do today? I said, you can start off by taking a 10-minute walk and then doing that 2 more times today. Because I want people to walk 30 minutes a day, but I want them to do it in bits and pieces. The reason being is that they will do it if it's only a 10-minute walk. But if they say, oh, it's going to be half an hour, gee, I'm busy, I don't have the right equipment, I've got to join a gym, all those things, all of those objections that get in the way that tell them I'm going to start tomorrow are what we want to work around. We want people to leave our office and start off by taking a 10-minute walk that day, because that then is a step in the right direction.
Okay. Mitch, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to go put my shoes on and go for a 10-minute walk.
Perfect.
And we appreciate you having your book on our page. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.